Let me speak to Jan-Jan Joubert, who's our analyst, he's our elections analyst there. He's got some political insights. Jan-Jan Joubert, you were listening to that as well with me, you're sitting there, and I could see you several times shaking your head, finding it unbelievable. What do you make? Let's just begin there. What was happening there? Because first up, we were live at the IEC National Results Operations Center. We'll talk about that as well. But let's just start with that action that we saw now in the Western Cape ROC in Cape Town.
Yes, thank you. I think all of us who in our lives have lost know how frustrating that can be. And then sometimes the mark of, how shall I put it, of being an adult is to follow the correct processes.
Because there are processes available if you really feel justified or just that there's a justifiable reason for you to be complaining against an outcome.
Indeed. So let's look at what I could pick up as actual substantive claims. That the presiding officer is a supporter or member of the Democratic Alliance, which is just about the only party not there, it seems. If that is so, these presiding officers are appointed a long time beforehand and published. In every municipality there is a multi-party operation, just as we have nationally, and these parties there would have been represented on those forums in the municipality. If not, they should have claimed it. That is what is provided.
So if they were part of that multi-party process in terms of what you're just saying, they should have raised their reservations about the presiding officer way before today.
Well, they certainly had the opportunity. I'm not saying what they should or should not do, but that is why those rules are there, and that's why those structures are there. And
so it doesn't help to come at the end of this process to say, oh, but that presiding officer is a member of such and such, when you might have had an opportunity to have raised any reservations earlier. I get your point.
Okay. Now, the second point I could see was that there was a problem with the voting process. Now, this is exactly why there are party agents in every single polling station, if such a claim is made, it is immediately brought up to provincial level, and if there's any substance or if it continues, it's normally resolved very quickly. You know, tempers flare as we see, and then there's also the national level where that can be raised. So to raise it 2 days afterwards is somewhat obscure. Also, if there is a situation where a vote count might have been done incorrectly, the one gentleman claims that he had 600 votes, went down to 178, and his opponent went up to 900, then now is the time to raise it through the correct channels. I'm not saying that happened, and I'm not saying it didn't happen, but if it did happen, then surely the gentleman who seems to be well educated on the rules of engagement knows that, exactly as Mr. Abrams just explained, there's a window of opportunity, and a long window of opportunity, where you can raise it and it can be adjudicated up to the national level. The last point that was made is a good point that was made. And that was that, and we heard it from many voting stations, and we heard some rather poor answers from the IEC, that many stations were offline for a long time. Now, this is why our country must not go for electronic voting, because it gives something to be blamed if anything goes wrong. Those would be my 3 answers to the substantive points made.
Yeah,